All right, here we are. I don't know what day of the lockdown it is for you, but it's the first full day of shelter in place in Austin, and let's keep the thread going with us having a look at Battle for Normandy. I'm going to flick the camera around, and I'm going to share out the post, and then we'll get started in just a second. And you know what? I don't have Twitter on my on my doohickey anymore, on my phone anymore. So let's just go with it from here. So, Battle for Normandy, GMT, and for Dan Palcaldi from No Enemies Here, that's BFN is Battle for Normandy, in case you were wondering. Good morning, everybody. Good to see folks joining in already. That's awesome. I'm going to pop up the live chat. Mike, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Just sort of do a random update here, getting into the swing of things with the Battle for Normandy. We're on the 8th of June turn, and it's the PM turn, and it's the Germans' activation. So, yeah, we're all working from home, right? I am working today, but I've only got 2 hours worth of work to do, so that can all happen later on. Let's see. Or maybe I should say, honestly, that I'm probably not going to do too much work today, and I'll do it all tomorrow. Who knows? Let's see. So, the Germans are in a bit of a pickle. And it's so much so that it's got me wondering that I've set this up correctly and I've put enough units on the board for the Germans. But I've gone back over the setup charts a couple of times, and I've also looked at the looked at the initial setup for the campaign, because this is the campaign starting at 7 p.m. Sorry, not 7 p.m. Starting on the PM turn of the 7th of June. And I just wanted to make sure that there were no mistakes or errors in the scenario, but it looks like it's okay so far. So we'll just sort of hang in there, and maybe I'm just being a drama queen when it comes to the Germans, because as you can see, with Khan here, or Khan, however you pronounce it, I should have looked that up before I started saying it, but they're in some trouble. So 21st Panzer tried to conduct some delaying actions here. They left some units behind to fight, and you can see there's still a couple of guys stuck here. There's a dude from 352nd that was trying to race across here to cover this entrance area. This is an important town because each hex is worth 4 VPs early in the game, and Canadians have already dropped in and grabbed these two, because this whole section here just broke up and became wildly open, and Canadians just powerhoused through that along this road and got 2 brigades or 2 formations in here. Which are pretty strong. They're 4-steppers. Well, they're 4 stacking points, and they're 3-step units, and they're 666s, so pretty strong. Anyway, 21st Panzer, we can move these guys out of this hex because zones of control don't extend into cities, but we give up the 4 VPs, and I think we're going to need to do that and literally pull everything back over this side of the river here, and then allow us to get Lear into the game and perhaps conduct a counterattack through Brayville here, or attack the British Paras. Although the Paras have now been reinforced with 2 of these very strong 656 formations. Each of the icons actually represents the types of tanks that were involved in the landings and whatnot. I don't have the icon chart handy, so I couldn't tell you what they were, but nevertheless, so there's an opportunity here for these guys for Lear to consider attacking. They took 3 or 2-step losses getting here. They used strategic movement, and even with fog, took a pounding from air. You have this ability to do these recon attacks, and they're quite painful. So I randomly allocated the attacks just down the stack here, and then roll the die, because I know where the really good units are. Like this, there's a 10-7-6 here, so You would normally keep that hidden from your opponent, so I just randomly allocated the attacks using a die. So here, this looks really icky for the Germans, and this is the best section of the map for the Germans at the moment. So we'll get to the rest of them in a minute. So we're going to move, and I might keep this going. We'll see how we do. I was just going to do an update, but I might start shuffling some bits around in a second. So this is that section of the map. Let's move over towards Bayeux and in the distance Omaha. And here, and the only thing that's stopping the Brits from absolutely running amok here, the 50th Division, is the fact that they've got some streams that have folks on the attack, and so instead they're trying to come around and all the while maintain some level of connectivity. The supply head, the HQ is just over there, so I've got to get that a little closer. And I also don't have any armor because I allocated all of the armor to the major city to the north there. So this is pretty also dicey situation. The 352nd is hanging in there. Yeah, this is the 8th of June PM turn, and it's the Germans' turn. And keeping in mind that I started this scenario on the 7 p.m. Turn. All right, so we've only got one turn in. And you know what? I need to mute my phone, otherwise my wife is going to blow up. She's sending me text messages. She's out hunting for groceries. All right. Okay, and found a fully stocked HEB, by the way, so that's always good news. All right, so this looks very positive for the Allies here as well. They've been using the offshore artillery very effectively, and keep in mind these successful attacks, there's a cost to them. I'm using a lot of supply up to conduct these attacks. I'm using the optional rules that it's one additional supply point per air point that you use. And I've been very aggressive with my air allocations where allowed. Okay, Omaha, having a hard time getting stuff onto the map. And it's losing a lot of steps, getting a lot of 1-1 results. So we chip away, knock off a step, and then I've got to rotate guys out, get replacements, and bring fresh units in to keep up the fight. Unfortunately, I bumped the table and my maps have shifted, so it's a little icky over here to look at, but nevertheless, Chevalier here is a important hex to pick up as soon as we can. It's a 2 VP hex. We want to try and get that. Looking kind of dicey for both sides here. The 29th, just this turn, started moving this way to try and come around to this coastal town here, pick up VPs there, and come at Carentan from the other direction. So having a hard time getting guys on the map, but we'll persevere there. I'm lacking armor. Unfortunately, I've got my armor and artillery, motorized artillery too far back in the stack, and it's taken a long time to get onto the board. Back here, 17th Panzer is setting up around St. Lo, and just this turn, whoops, sorry about that, I don't know why that's so wonky. Just this turn here, the 82nd Airborne forced a retreat on the 91st. It's a lucky result for them, particularly given that they were halved, but given the number of units we had attacking, we were allowed to use some offshore bombardment, and so we applied 11 factors to the combat, which was the deciding element, and a lot of air. So it was a very, very aggressive attack there. Now, this whole peninsula, I'm just no idea what to do for either side. So let's have a scaled back look. And you have to excuse the wonky camera, but I'm holding it in my hand. So 243rd, I've elected to pull them back. And they're going to try and form up some sort of defensive perimeter around St. Lo and try and hold that area. Meanwhile, the 91st is going to do their best to hold on to Cherbourg and the outskirts and try and allow us the time for the Germans to destroy the port as best we can, and then basically they'll all die in place. I'm having trouble understanding or appreciating which divisions or how you allocate divisions to corps. I couldn't find an org chart that sort of said, okay, well, this corps has these divisions. So I assume you can just say, hey, these divisions are now reporting to this corps. And that impacts combat supply. And so that's one of the reasons why it's a little confusing at the moment. But we're working our way through that. Fourth Division and the 101st really banging away here, moved up quite aggressively this turn. We actually did not roll for that attack. Or maybe I did and got a no effect. I must have got a no effect there. Otherwise, we would have... yeah, because that was a pretty important attack. Okay, so looks like I got a no effect there. And that's okay. We'll attack again this turn. And now I'll be able to also... I'll have some excess air next turn and we'll go from there. Not much about French history here, my friend, I'm afraid. Just World War II history in France. So if that floats your boat, you're welcome. So with this situation with the 91st and the 709th, they're going to try and hang tough here as best they can. The 709th, I misspoke earlier on. I said the 91st was going to stay in Cherbourg. I don't have a lot of units left for the 91st. There's only a small handful, so they will play their role screening, and we'll kind of take it. We'll kind of take it from there. So it is in fact the Germans' turn, and I may as well move a few pieces until the interest wanes, and I have to start looking up rules and things like that. So if you're cool to hang out for a little bit and you want to see, I'm happy to play. Otherwise, we can I can stop the stream here, but we'll keep going for now. So I've got to flip all my artillery over and allow them to be moved. There's a few back here that will flip as well. And let's see. I'm happy in the marshes up here. I like the effect upon the attacker. So we want to keep those locations. And in fact, I will push up one hex into here. And then the bocage here will stay. I'm pretty happy here. I'm gonna let the Americans come and do their thing. And we can always bug out at a later point. In fact, I have a pretty decent sort of arrangement here. The only thing that I want to make sure I've got artillery in range, which I do to support that. The white boxed units are core artillery, and they can be allocated at the beginning of a turn to a specific division. So these are both allocated to the 709th. These guys here, counterattacking with the Germans is very risky because if you get an adverse result, you've lost a step and then put yourself at risk. And that happened a couple of times over with the British where I tried to counterattack, and a couple of them were forced, but nevertheless, bad things happen. All right, so I do need to move. I'm gonna rotate this way, and I'm just gonna move these guys. This is the 243rd that I said I was bugging out with. And they can use strategic movement, but only on major roads. So regular movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you may get a little parallax error because this piece of plex has popped up off its moorings. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. 4, 5 to there. I'm going to move the HQ down to here. These guys will all move as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They were right behind, so they can move 7, and they'll move the same. I'm going to have to decide what to do with these units, these 91st units in this little village here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Is that right? 1, 2. No, it's not. 10, 12. There we go. Move that guy. These guys got to move 1. He can do strap move all the way down to there, and he can do strap move all the way down to here. And I'm inclined to sit tight there as well. Here, I want to keep this engineer alive, so I'm going to move him out and move them across. That's all your movement points to move from one marsh hex to another, and also across a major river. And I'm going to keep this armor for a rainy day, so we're bugging him out as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 4, 5, 6. We'll send them this way. This artillery can support these guys in defense here, and everything else will just we'll have to try and hang tough. Like I said, pretty grim situation now. Over here, we should check out the Fallschirmjäger here. You know, a bit of a pill, so we're going to push them back 1 hex. These guys are in a zone of control no matter where, so they really can't move anywhere at the moment. And I'm going to sit tight in that city or village, and I'm going to bring these dudes up. But these guys were leaving here and are now coming back. And they have to stay, I think, 3 hexes away if they do strap moves. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Regular movement is 4 to there. Let's go there, 5. And that would allow me to back off this way. Okay, so that's probably an okay situation there. Now we can fire the onshore batteries at the the ships out there. It's really kind of a bit of a fool's errand to waste game time on that. So I'm not doing that. I'm not moving the 17th. We're going to leave them where they are for the moment. And here in and around Omaha, I think we're going to continue to just let the Americans come to us. Get off that piece of plastic and go there. There's a piece of plastic keeping these 2 maps together, and it's not done a very good job. These guys can move back 1. I need to get these guys out. That's going to be 4 to there. It's 2 for Bacage plus 2 to leave. 4. And then I'll move to here under the road, 6. And earlier on, as I said, we've got a little map separation issue there. So things are a little wonky looking. 1 brave company holding out here. We're going to push back up adjacent and use the river as a defensive line. And I'm seriously tempted just to bug out of Bayou and let the Brits have this. I'm going to come across the river, I think, at the very least. We didn't flip that guy over. We'll move the HQ up to here. Yeah, that's so tenuous there, isn't it? Hardly worth the while. Well, at least... Dang. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just horrible. All right, now I'm going to deal with this fur ball here. I need my tweezers. Where are they? I'm going to get these guys out of here. No zones of control into cities. So 1, think we're just going to give up these hexes 2, 3, 4 here. Well, this will leave you there 4. Put this guy here. I'm going to take a seat. I think I can reach. Hope that's all right. If you've got questions or comments or just want to say hi, please do. This was an interesting combat. It ended up being a 3-to-1 here. And I made a mistake with the combat and ran it as a 7-to-1 and wiped those guys out. And I thought, that happened a little too quick because they're a pretty tough unit. And of course, I made a mistake. I had forgotten to allocate artillery. So, retreat 1. Well, I guess we'll just sit right here. And the HQ better bug out. This artillery, all this artillery, yikes, needs to bug out. And flip. It moves. Hey, Kyle, I didn't see you join. How you doing there, buddy? All right. Oh, we're so screwed here. This is ridiculous. I'm going to put this guy here, I guess. Shit. You can break down these formations too. You know, I could drop off an armored step here if I wanted to, but you're kind of delaying the inevitable, and I'm feeling a little fatalistic today. So let's pop that stuff into there. I guess I really want to use this to counterattack. Well, let's take this guy that got beat up by the air to there. Let's find something else worthwhile to move into there. Would I recommend it for a 2-map? Well, here's the good news. This is a 4-map. I've got the extension set up. This is a 4-map. Well, it's a 3-map game, really. I should probably look at the box, but with the extension, there are a couple of things you can do. There's a couple of other scenarios. While it adds more space, so that's the whole thing, right? Now, on the backs of these maps, or in the box, there are additional maps that allow you to, they've got like consolidated maps for a specific scenario. So you can play, there's a whole bunch of different scenarios you can play that allow you to have a larger experience, but with adjusted maps. So for instance, it will cover from here to here, and it'll just be the Omaha beach. And then there's one for this section, and then there's a battle for this town, and there's, the battle for the peninsula, and that's a 1-map scenario. And then the campaign is actually going to be 3 maps. But I think if you were clever, you put your 2 maps in one spot and then get a side table and put the Cherbourg thing, which you can see I've got it hanging off the edge of the table there, right? So, I'm way classy like that. So, I set the tables up wrong to start with, and then I laid the maps down incorrectly to start with, and really wasn't thinking about it when I did it. So I've made this more complicated for myself than it needs to be. I've got like 12 inches to squeeze by around there, so I can play from that angle over there. So that was a very long answer. The short answer is yes, but I get the extension. Yeah, so this has more detail, but there's a lot of units, but it's a relatively simple system. But there are some layers to it. So when you start looking at supply and artillery, and being in combat supply, and then using combat supply points, you really have to start thinking about your logistics a little bit. But everything else is pretty straightforward, right? And using the air is abstracted to the right level, because we don't need to fly Focke-Wulfs around or Spitfires. So it's all pretty good. I quite like the system. It's got some little bits of chrome with the crocodile doohickeys that you can use, and the float the tanks in. If you like doing landings, there's lots of choices around the landings, and I'm not a big landings fan, which is why I started the scenario 7 p.m., the 7th of June PM turn, and then just played, prior to that, I played one landing scenario, the Omaha scenario, which went much, much better than what's going on over there. Although there were a lot more units to play with for the Germans. All right, let me see, where was I? I think we were trying to come up with an excuse to make some sort of attack here. I want to try and hit this dude, so let's see if we can do that. Let's start with the biggest boy first. One, there's a bridge here. 1, 2, yeah, I'm not going to make it. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's do it this way then. 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. So now I don't think we need this guy. We'll put him here for the moment. Maybe we would be smart and put him here. And then we'll shoot. I need a sucker to die, and a cheap guy to die with. Well, that's a really good question, John. I don't know what the hell the Germans would be doing. Who is their commander? He needs to be shot. That's all I can say. Oh, I need some units. Jeez Louise. If I got a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I can use that artillery. Very nice. Oh, here's a guy I can use to soak off with. 1, 2, 3. He's not going to make it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes, he is. 4, 5. But I can't stack. Bucket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, he can. Okay, that's going to be our guy that will allow to take losses on our behalf if we have to lose a step. I've got lots of artillery that I'm going to use here. If I get the chance, they're all 8 range right here. These guys, there's a stack of them there under the Lear HQ. And I need another unit just for insurance. Let's go. Well, let's start moving up this way. 6 to there, because we're going to get a mech move phase as well after this. So let's get up close. Oh, look at these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, are these 2 stacking points? That's I don't think these guys can get there. These, I could put this dude here. He can make the distance. This guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now we're talking. And I can reinforce over here now with the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's just a mess. Yuck. And you know what? I'm going to pull one of these back. Let's put this guy back here. Shit. Ah, look what's underneath there. Okay. I'm going to bring this dude up to here. Okay, actually I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm going to move this guy over to this side. I'm a little worried about this whole flank as well. And I think I have a swelling in my eye. My eye is starting to, looks like I've got a bug bite or something, or pink eye. That's nasty. My left eye is starting to throb. Very nice. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to move anybody else over there, I don't think. All right, let's try and run this attack. So we're going to use, you can use a, one arty unit per brigade or equivalent. And I've got 3 there, so I can use 3 arty. So we'll take the 3 from here. 3. They all moved, so 3, 6, 9. So there's 10 arty points. 24, 31, 32 to 6. 32 to 6. But I will use air and defense. I will use I will use artillery and defense, and I can use 1 artillery. Do I have one in range that hasn't moved or been used? Excuse me. This could be a problem. Well, I can use a ship. No, I can't use a ship at night. Dang it. All right. Where are we, Canadians? Oh, we're up the creek here. All right, that's 4 to 1. It's normally a -3, but because it's armor defending only, it's only a -2. So it's a 4 to 1 with a -2. And defensive benefit for the terrain. I guess it's the Germans' lucky day. I rolled a 10 on a 4 to 1. You can see that there. 4 to 1 with a 10. That is going to be a 1-3. That's a boomer. Damn. All right, so that guy is 100% eliminated. We move the armor losses step marker by 3, 1, 2, 3, up to 4. Doesn't quite get us a replacement point. The Germans go up 1, and they take 1. And we'll lose this dude up here. Yep, and go into the growing dead pile of... Whoa. Sorry, folks. That scare you? There's the dead pile. All right, so that's what we call a successful counterattack. Dang it, what is going on with my stand? Plex is very slippery today. So let's advance these guys into here. All right, so that takes back 1 VP hex. Okay, I'm going to give it, let's see, we got mech move, second phase here. There'll be, and at the end, there'll be no allied recon air attack because I don't believe that occurs in the PM phase. Let me check. Oh, PM turn is identical to the... Okay, so we're good. All right, mech for the Germans. We're going to push these guys further up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're coming up to here. So a little bit of a defensive line-ish thing. Hopefully I'm going to get some more reinforcements. Half, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a half, 5, 6 to there. I'm going to press these guys over to here. I'm going to move these, actually, move that guy up to there to support him. And we'll keep our HQ protected there. Oh, you can't see that, it's off screen, but never mind. Let's press this dude up into here. And I'm going to do some little switcherooing here. I need a... If I put this guy here, trying to attack into that hex, they'll have to attack that hex as well. So I think we'll do that. And I'll push these boys up into here. Really need some infantry in there. And this hex is very exposed, so let's pop this guy back 1 hex. Tell you what, let's just stop digging around. Let's do this. That can go to there. This can go to here. That looks better to me. Ish. All right. Mech moves over on the rest of the map. Let me just have a quick look, see if there's anything worth chunking around. There is one unit that will move over into Carentan and reinforce that. And that's probably it. And I think that will be the end of the PM turn for the 8th of June. And now we do the end of day phase. We check for victory. There is not a victory, but we will have to accumulate some VPs for which I'm really not keeping track of because it doesn't really matter. I'm just playing by myself. Although the Brits are doing rather well, they'll pick up next turn. They'll pick up some of these, but they've picked up 4 here and 1 or 2 more over there near Bayeux. So things are going okay. The Americans are moving rather slowly, and we'll kind of go for it from there. Well, whoever pieced this, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say that. Let me see who else is popping notes in here. Yeah, I think, and I don't know the exact date that the town fell, so I'd have to look it up. You read all these books and it's hard to keep track of the dates and the times and all that sort of stuff. But I know that there was a lot of vicious fighting. I know it took much longer than what's probably going on here, but we haven't taken the entire town yet. There's some parts of it are falling, but this is going to take a while to reduce. There's 2 full armor divisions in here, and getting the right assets in place in the right, not sequence, but in the right stacks, because the stacking limits is very difficult. So this is going to become highly attritional, and I think we'll start to see probably a more historical result after these early 4 hexes are picked up. I think it's going to slow down a little bit unless I can keep reinforcing on the right hand side here and try and punch through, and maybe if I could clear these 2 hexes, I can come around the city. And as far as I'm concerned, I'd rather isolate it and then choke it off a little bit with, causing supply issues, than actually have to grind it out and just throw bodies at it, which is kind of the Monty way, right? All right, fellas, I'm going to let you go. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. And I'll be online tonight, 7 p.m. with Ardwolf. We'll be playing OCS campaign. Tunisia 2, the Kasserine campaign scenario, starting from scratch. So it will be a little bit of setup work. So if you don't want to watch the boring stuff, tune in about 8 o'clock. And I'm not sure how long we'll go, but we'll hang out as long as we can. So look forward to catching up with you. Ciao.